Solar energy is arguably our best tool for clean electricity, but it suffers from a built-in physical bottleneck. As long as our panels stay attached to the surface of the Earth, they are entirely at the mercy of planetary cycles. This image of heavy storm clouds illustrates the immediate atmospheric constraint. The moment weather rolls in, energy production drops significantly, and every single evening, output stops entirely. Then there is the issue of physical space. As this wide-angle view of a terrestrial solar farm shows, utility-scale projects require thousands of acres of land, forcing direct competition with agriculture, forests, and human settlements. To get around these terrestrial constraints, energy providers are forced to build industrial-scale battery parks to store daytime energy and release it at night. We are essentially forcing the grid to artificially simulate a continuous 24/7 power supply. In 2011, Japan faced an urgent crisis. The Fukushima nuclear disaster stripped the nation of its reliable baseline power supply, forcing Japanese engineers into a search for high-capacity, clean alternative energy sources. They turned to Shimizu Corporation. As a global leader in skyscrapers and heavy infrastructure, Shimizu represents the peak of Japanese engineering and large-scale construction. Shimizu's response was a radical proposal: the lunar ring. They drafted a long-term plan to build a continuous belt of solar panels stretching entirely around the equator of the moon. This is an intellectual blueprint designed to permanently bypass the problems of clouds, night cycles, and land scarcity. They realized the most logical place to put a solar array is exactly where the sun never sets. This 3D wireframe diagram shows the lunar ring structure. It covers the entire equator, an unbroken 11,000-kilometer belt. Widening it creates staggering surface area. As this chart demonstrates, theoretical output reaches tens of terawatts, vastly exceeding Earth's current electricity demand. The logistics create a significant contradiction. You cannot send human crews 380,000 kilometers into a vacuum. The environment requires that the entire installation be executed by fully autonomous robots, mining lunar soil and 3D printing the foundation directly onto the rocks. The mechanical advantage of this equatorial layout is absolute consistency. Because the moon rotates slowly, a different section of this continuous ring is guaranteed to be in uninterrupted sunlight at any given moment. This configuration produces a surplus that exceeds current global consumption, yet the entire model relies on mastering fully autonomous extraterrestrial manufacturing, a capability that currently does not exist. Even if we could automate the construction tomorrow, generating the electricity is only half the problem. You still have to transport that power back to the global grid, across 380,000 kilometers of empty space, without physical wires. This schematic shows the solution. Lunar panel electricity is funneled into transmission stations and converted into concentrated microwaves. On Earth, giant receiving antennas, called rectennas, catch those beams, converting them back into alternating current for the local grid. But we have to look at the present-day reality. The launch logistics alone would require trillions in upfront funding. We have unresolved geopolitical questions regarding who actually controls the moon's real estate, and we still need to prove we can beam high-energy microwaves through the atmosphere without putting commercial aircraft at risk. Moving a solar farm to space brilliantly solves the earthly problems of weather and battery storage, but it introduces financial and geopolitical risks so extreme that a physical lunar ring will remain grounded for decades. So why would a global construction corporation spend capital drafting detailed blueprints for a multi-trillion-dollar project they know won't be built in our lifetimes? As this mind map shows, solving extreme lunar engineering hurdles actively breeds technologies we can use on Earth. By figuring out autonomous assembly in space, engineers directly advance the robotics needed to build commercial solar plants faster right here. The same principle applies to wireless power transmission. To make the lunar ring feasible on paper, we have to push the boundaries of microwave beaming. Right now, experiments like Japan's Ohisama project are taking those exact concepts and successfully beaming kilowatts of energy from low Earth orbit. It raises a central debate for the future of our grid. Drop a comment below. Would you rather see humanity pool its capital to build visionary space infrastructure, or should we focus every dollar strictly on optimizing the ground and rooftop solar panels we already have? Ultimately, the lunar ring demonstrates a classic engineering principle. Sometimes, in order to figure out what is highly practical and efficient down on Earth, engineers must first attempt to design the impossible in space.